Hey, good morning. It's Thursday. Happy Friday's Eve to you all. Hey, this is Oz on Smash Bros Radio, the only digital award-winning radio station located in Birmingham, Alabama. We appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much for taking time out with me. I'm Oz. As you can see, I'm alive. Yes, Lord. You can find us on you can find us on TikTok. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook as well as Instagram. So please, if you have not done so, please like, follow, share, and subscribe. As well as we have an app, and we would really appreciate it if you would download our app. There's going to be a new program coming on early in the mornings from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. It's called Chaos, and he's a kind of he's different. He's going to play a lot of good music, a lot of old music for you. So please download so that way if you're up, he's got a saying. What is it? He's going to turn you. He's going to put you to sleep. He's going to wake you. He's going to put you to sleep, wake you up, and turn some of your asses out. So check him out. It's coming soon on Smash Bros Radio app. So we appreciate you, appreciate you, appreciate you. We appreciate you. Also, shout out to Alabama A&M. Happy birthday, 150 years old in Normal, Alabama. So happy birthday to Alabama A&M. Appreciate you. One of the best HBCU schools in Alabama. Can't compare to Alabama State, but hey, we're up there together. We're like brother and sister, or like first cousins. So that's what we are. That's what we are. Let's see how many. Let's see. We got Alabama A&M. We got Alabama State. We have the school that's up there, that private school. Anyway, we digress. But hey, happy birthday to Alabama A&M. Also, we're praying, we're keeping our fingers crossed that Alabama A&M is going to be able to purchase the old Birmingham Southern campus. It's going to be a fantastic new addition. Either Miles, Alabama A&M, or Alabama State, one of the three. And possibly, if it can be possible, all you have to do is get together and come up. Maybe they can come up and join forces. All three universities join forces. You got two public, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, and then you have a private HBCU, which is Miles. But we're all one family. That's what we are. We're all one family. Now, you know, when we're playing football or when we're playing the sports and all, that's our rivals. But hey, listen, don't come messing with one, because you're going to have to mess with all of us. So it's how we are. We can talk about each other, but nobody outside can talk about anybody. So that's what we're going to do. So, hey, you got two events coming up, May 18th and 19th. You got the basketball, barbershop basketball tournament, 5-on-5 youth and adult competition, live DJ, entertainment, food trucks, pizza party, a carnival. Kids are $10, adults are $15 for both days. There will be trophies as well as rings. For more information, you can call 205-200-9423. For more information, call 205-200-9423. Now, there are 4 participating barbershops, and you got the main attraction. You have 1011, the shop on 78, and you have Looked Up. So please check them out. Buy your tickets. We look forward to seeing you there. OZZz is a proud sponsor of the Southern Bully Showdown Part 2, being presented by 1888 Bully Kennel, November 9th, 2024, Bessemer Civic Center, 1130 9th Avenue Southwest, Bessemer. There are going to be 4 ICBR shows. So please come out. Again, as we've mentioned earlier, if you wish to sponsor, if you wish to donate, if you wish to participate, booths are still open. Vending trucks, vendors, food trucks, vendors, which so please contact DeJuan Hall at 205-460-6435. DeJuan Hall, 205-460-6435. So check them out. We appreciate you tremendously. Appreciate you tremendously. We talked about yesterday about, why the HBCU or no HBCUs having protest. And it was a legitimate question. And so I think that I found the answer, discovered the answer, heard the answer, and it's legitimate. To me, it's legitimate. For one, there is a possibility that the HBCUs do not invest in companies that are associated with Israel, former day Palestine. And so that could be one reason. But another reason could be that we know that there are two Americas. You have a Black America and you have a white America. And there is an understanding in the Black community that there would be a possibility, 100% possibility, that what was transpiring at the white institution, colleges, and universities, if those same practices were done, those same protests were done on the HBCU, we know exactly what the results would be. We know that we know what the results would be. It's not similar to that what is transpiring with the white universities. So I never thought about it, but there it was in front of my face the whole time. One, there's a possibility that the HBCUs do not invest in companies or corporations or affiliations with those individuals who affiliate or deal with Israel, former day Palestine. And even though in the Black community, there is a sense of understanding and empathy, at the same time, it's just a different perspective. So there it is. So we have to, in the time that we are living in now, we have to be cognitive. We have to be self-conscious. We have to be conscientious, aware of exactly what we're dealing with. Some cultures want to say that, well, y'all are always making it about race. Well, it's not that the Black community is making it about race. It's the white community that is making it about race. We don't seem to understand that there's a connection to where that racism has been part of us for so long, for over 400 and something years, that we don't even know the prevalence of racism. We become somewhat common with it. We have become somewhat comfortable with it, that we don't really recognize when it's slapping us in the face. So that was a good point. And so and it could be other reasons, but those two were prominent when I heard about that about the investments, and also about if the HBCUs were to have protests, we know what the outcome would be, and it would not be very favorable. And also we have to be mindful and cognitive and conscientious of the fact that you have to be cautious about the propaganda being sent out about who are the rioters, and we're finding out that some Zionists have paid individuals to come in and to perpetrate, to pretend like they are protesters, in which they're not. And then we found out too that the Zionists are extremely upset because their lives have been discovered and uncovered. So we have to be cognitive. Question came up about why is it that seems to be so vogue for young male black athletes always having a token white on their arms. And there was I think it was on Twitter, that there were some youngsters, and I do not mean any disrespect, but there were some 20-year-olds saying that, let me get this right, that the black females want it now, and the white females see it as an investment. And I was like, wow, I really didn't understand exactly what they were saying, but that is something, because see, we have many examples of where athletes earlier in their careers were married to a token white, and that token was there earlier, and then all of a sudden it fell apart. And so now the individual has married a black female. And then there have been some cases to where the black athlete, early in their careers, have married a black female, and for whatever reason, they divorced and they married a white female. And so there was a lot of discussion going on. One was that some were thinking that these 20-year-olds really shouldn't have an opinion because they haven't lived their life, nor do they have the experience or the season of making a statement like that. But I remember when we were in our 20s, we thought a different way, and so we had an opinion. It may not have been right, but we had an opinion. So, but to think back, oh goodness, hold on for a moment. This is so. Hello. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Is it possible that when I come in that I can choose, because I love your varieties and also, but I really wanted that curly fry really bad. Oh yes, ma'am. So can I come in around 11 o'clock? Yes, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, and see you at 11. Live television, live radio is fascinating. And some people would say it was very unprofessional, and I would have to agree. So, but what what would be other reasons for now? I'm From my experience, and I'm 64 years old. From my experience, I have seen where uh, the mutants, the female mutants, have attached themselves to a future, a prospect. They already see exactly what the future, and they attach themselves to this individual. And once that individual looks at another female, Well, the next thing you know, the mutant is lying, and the black male athlete has lost their chance. And so that's one reason why with my godson, his nephew, I've told nephew that before he ever decides to date a white, to date a mutant, that it would be in his best interest to make sure that his mom or his uncle meets the girl's family. So that way there isn't any miscommunications or misunderstandings. Because we know from the way that nephew is built, nephew, if you wanted to, can become pro. Because nephew is like his uncle, he has that natural build. And then when he lift weights and all, that only magnifies exactly what he has. So, and then when you're going to a predominantly white high school, and 9 times out of 10, the black population, student population, is not that high. Or there's not that many black males. And then you have nephew coming up. It's like a magnet because he has a fantastic personality. So my main concern and worry is that I don't want anyone to sabotage or to damage any prospect he has for the future. And I've been honest with nephew. I've told him, I'm not saying not to date whites. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that if you should consider dating a white girl, that you need to make sure that your mama meets the parents and the parents know that you're black. Because even though you have white friends, you have to keep in mind you are still a black male. You cannot do, nor can you get away with what your white friends get away with. And see, that's my main concern with him. And that is my main concern and red flag with former students who their children, the majority of their friends are white. And again, it's none of my business. And I will admit openly, it's none of my business. Do they understand that they are still black? Even though you have white friends, you are still viewed as being black, which means that you are not going to have those advantages that your white friends have. Just like if you get into trouble, that's when you really find out who your friends are, and you don't need to get into trouble to actually find that out. So when it comes to these black male athletes and these white females have attached themselves, love is crazy. But is it in actuality, is it love or is it lust? That's the thing. That's the thing. Now, as I've said before, there's only one race, and that's the human race. There's only one race, and that's the human race. There's not a white race. There's not a black race. There's only one race, and that's the human race. As in that category of race, there are cultures. You have the black culture, you have the white culture, you have all these cultures. Now we've been together for over 400, going on 500 something years. And so some of the cultures have combined together, have mixed together, have just come together as a fine mixture. So I've been open and been honest and straightforward with nephew. And I've told him, I said, no pictures should be forwarded to anybody. Now, if the girl wants to send you pictures of her anatomy, well, that's good and fine. You better not send none of your pictures of your anatomy. And I'm hoping that parents have that type of rapport and relationship with their kids, that they understand that you have to be open, blunt, and straightforward. These kids are not timid. They're not timid. They're not. Look at the video games that they play. They're not timid. And we're talking about kids who have lived through murders, who have lived through shootings. So these kids are not weaklings. There's nothing weak about these kids. So they're going to be all right. And that's for both cultures. So, but the question, what exactly is it? Is it because I guess that people have always wondered about that, because either you start with a black female early in their careers, and then for whatever reason, all of a sudden they wind up with a white female, and there could be a possibility that there was some fooling around going on. I don't know, but there could be reasons. And so they marry a white, and then, or they marry a white. I think Russell's a good example. when he was in the draft, and his wife thought that she was set for life, and now look at her. So it's a baffling question, because since there's only one race, a human race, there's going to be some similarities when it comes to the females. There's just certain things that's going to be similar, it's going to be the same. Poor people are going to act like poor people. Middle class is going to act like middle class. Upper middle class, rich, and so forth. Social economics is really the only thing that separates the cultures. Really, that's really what sets everyone, the social, how much we make, how less we make. That's what makes us comfortable. And so that's why it's baffling that when you have individuals in power who know how to manipulate to get the same individuals in the groups to combat each other, to be against each other, to cause conflict between each other. Because see, there is a what's the word? You have the same understanding about what it's like being poor. So you understand the concept of being poor. Middle class, the same way. So when it comes to the black athlete, and now we're finding out that there's black female athletes who are marrying outside their culture. So what's the deal? Love is love. Love is blind. Love can be crazy. And should it really matter? Should it really matter who an individual marries? Should it really matter? Depends on your perspective, because again, there are two Americas. You have a black America and you have a white America. And there's a huge gulf. There's a huge division between the perceptions, between the views from the black community and the white community. White community could not put up with what the transgressions that the black community puts up with. Cannot. White community is too entitled. And when you have that too much entitlement, you really don't understand that you're so used to it, you're so familiar with it, you're so common with it, that you don't know it's an entitled. Because if a black female were to do some of the antics that some of these white females do, she would be handled totally different. Now we know it. Same way when it comes to the HBCUs and the white institutions. We know for a fact that if demonstrations were done on the HBC campuses, that the reaction of the officials will be totally different and more volatile than with the whites. Now, it's getting to be volatile, is getting to be more hazardous, but it's worse on HBCUs, and we know this, and we have to be honest. And I think that as much as people are fearful and they don't want to, we have to eventually get to the point to where we can sit down, and yes, it's going to cause hurt. Yes, it's going to open old wounds. Yes, it's going to cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression, because from the white community, from the white culture standpoint, white community doesn't want to deal with its faults, doesn't want to deal with its travesties, does not want to deal with its activities that it has performed. And see, that's part of the problem now, because you have this gene that has all of these horrendous experiences from the ancestors, that it's going to be hard to become healthy. So you see, it's similar to when the Jews were led out of Egypt. They went to the desert for 40, was it 40 years? Is that for 40 years? Is that the question? 40 days, 40 years. And the reason why God made them be in the wilderness for 40 years was to get rid of the elders. And I use that term loosely, the old folks who were raised in slavery, who was raised in bondage, because see, they have a certain type of mentality. So he had to get rid of that mentality, so that way the next ones would understand what it's like to make decisions for yourselves, to be independent. So see, that's where the Black community is having some conflict, because of the past. It's part of the DNA. Because when you are bombarded negatively every day of your life, 24/7, 365 days, it's sort of like coming back from Vietnam and you're paranoid. So, should it really matter who someone marries? Is it really any of our business who somebody marries? But it's really baffling why a Black athlete would attach himself. Well, we understand why a white female would, but I don't know. It's something to think about. One of the indeed, indeed, indeed. So, but I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Give you something to think about. Give you something to think about. But it's Thursday, May 2nd. Have a good day. Have a good day. Make sure that you have told everyone that you love them, that you appreciate them. Let them know how much they mean to you. Tomorrow is never promised to any of us. So I will see you Friday. Y'all take care. Have a good day. Know your value, know your worth. Know that you control everything about you. And most importantly, know that I love you more than I love my luggage. Y'all take care.